Hello, welcome to Omnibroslive. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. Okay. So, what's this hot take already? What?
Wow, wow,
Wow.
we are starting off with a really horrible one.
Doc, that's a hot take. I am OmniDog, joined by Lou.
Hello.
Oh, Labrusi's binging Gotham Central and loving it. That's good. Good, good, good. Lou's here. So we're gonna get started on what? Oh, hot takes. Lou has some thoughts. So
Mm,
before we get into those thoughts, let's talk about the fabulous InStockTrades.com, where you can get your collected editions up to, well, in the red tag sale, sometimes 65% off. And I think there's a book in there in that red tag sale that Lou wants to talk about. He's patting himself on the back right now, as a matter of fact. Don't forget your 2% loyalty discount that clicks in. $50 or more in an order gets you free shipping in the United States. $50 gift card given away this past Monday. That's right. We did a head fake and didn't wait until the last Monday. We just gave it out. That's right. That's how we roll. We're crazy guys here at Omnibroslive. So, yeah, tune in April, and maybe we'll give it away on a random Wednesday. No, I don't know. We just wanted to reward the loyal fans who watch and shop at InStockTrades.com. Fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com. Wow.
okay.
Okay,
Just
this is dumb.
my hot take is
Labruski, you've only been reading comics for like a couple of weeks now. What?
just
Holy
I
smoke.
am a humble man in victory and in defeat.
Okay, wait, let's set this up.
Uh,
So, Rom, here's Marvel Bab. Check it
yes,
out. Oh, except
yes,
that's
yes.
NFL Dude. Marvel Bab, welcome. And NFL Dude, internet trolls are low testosterone, high estrogen betas. Okay.
That's
Okay.
wow.
Oh,
Okay,
is that a hot take? That sounds like a hot take to me.
I
I
like
don't,
that.
I don't, oh, okay. 3 years. Okay, good.
Mm,
Hot takes. That's right, AS. Uh, okay, so
mm-hmm,
all four, are there five? No, there's four covers of ROM,
mm-hmm.
and they're in the red tag sale
What?
in IST. Now, I don't
Mhm.
think they're super discounted. I think they're 55% off. And what what do we recall Lou saying? Because I actually don't recall it. What did you predict, Lou?
I said that they would be. I forgot the exact phrasing, but basically that they would be on the reg tag sale or like ollies within a few months. What was the over under? I think I said like 4 months, right? 4 or 5 months.
Gosh, I don't know, because
More. Might have been more.
I thought I predicted one of the covers was going to sell out.
Yeah.
And then not only did it sell out, but all the covers are on the red tag sale.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Uh,
Kane makes a good point. Hey, Kane, James will find the clip. Okay,
I'm sure
James.
he will. Yeah, I'm sure he will.
It'll,
Yeah. Look. Um, I'm not saying I was right, but hey, I'm very humble in that manner. I'm not gonna brag about it. Thank you guys. But I was
so
right.
you were right. Yeah.
I was right.
Hey, I have been married for over 30 years, so I know when to say I'm wrong. I say it all the time. I've been
Uh,
very well practiced in it. So I was wrong. I thought one of these would sell out and these things would sell like hotcakes. So um, I don't have it. I will look for it. But Fanful says, I don't remember Lou giving a time frame, just that they would go red tag. That's good enough. You don't need to look for it, James. I accept. I accept the chat's verdict, Lou's verdict. I was wrong. I thought for sure. I guess they overprinted. Everybody overordered. I'm sure that everybody who wanted it got it because it was well wanted, if that's a phrase.
yeah, it was. So Rom was the most pre-ordered omnibus, right? Wasn't that what it
Yeah,
was?
in Marvel's Omnibus history.
Okay, well, I mean that's good news, but I do kind of wonder how many of these retailers are left with a whole bunch of these and the variant covers and stuff like that because maybe bought into the hype. That's obviously we don't have numbers or anything like that, so we can't give a real answer to that. But I do kind of wonder if a lot of these retailers took a bath on this thing, considering the hype behind it. It's been out of print for so long. It's stuff that people have clearly wanted because it was the most pre-ordered omnibus at a time. But it seems like that initial just yay is gone. and make no mistake, volume 2 will probably not have this problem.
What's up, Gabe?
Hey guys, what's going on?
You think volume 2 will be probably underordered, as typical for volume 2s or something?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah. Yeah.
William Lee, hot take. You are so wrong on Superman Silver Age Omnibus. It's already in the #1 best-selling spot on IST. William Lee, do you want to do a burger bet? Come on, put your burger where your mouth is. Let's go, William Lee. How dare you? Not enough hot takes, do another IST giveaway. No, I don't think this was a burger bet. I think Lou just set it on his own.
Yeah. I
don't recall betting. I think it was just a comment.
There was nothing. This was just me spitting stuff out, conversation wise, and thinking. I have found this whole thing of ROM really fascinating, from the perspective of it being such a thing that's been ordered so much, and so many people claiming that they want it, and maybe it was a thing where Marvel bit into the hype. They got carried away with it, and they're like, yeah, let's print. Of course, again, we don't have numbers. This would be more of a thing of maybe Omar would be able to give us more of an answer than, because this is all speculation. And I'm kind of curious what the amount ordered versus the amount bought is, and how many of them are sitting on IST shelves right now. Because you said that 4 out of 5 of them are on the red tag sale right now for the variant cover, right?
Were there 5?
I think every cover is 55% off, right?
Yeah, I think there are 4 covers.
4 covers, my mistake. All 4 are on the IST sale, right?
Yeah, all 4 are on the red tag sale. We get to do it again with Micronauts next month. Well, I don't know.
We'll have to see. But the Micronauts isn't getting 4 covers though, right?
I don't know. That's a good question. That's a lot of covers just for one book. I don't think it's bad that multiple covers are available. ROM 2 and 3 will definitely be harder to find months after release, and yet I still won't buy it.
Wow, that's a hot take.
That's right. I will, because it's not on my thing. It's not my thing, baby. Well, perhaps.
You're not a fan of the robot with the Walmart price gun?
That's right.
Do we still got that image, or is it?
Oh my god, I love that image.
Okay, burger bet with William Lee. Oh, I'm sure Rom was #1 too. Burger bet, done deal. Okay, dude. I predict Superman Silver Age Volume 1 will not hit the red tag sale because I bet it was under ordered.
Ooh, I like that.
There hasn't been many omnibuses recently that have sold out, right? Like it hasn't been. This isn't 2018 anymore, right?
No,
so,
I feel like Spider-Man 2099 sold out pretty quickly.
Okay, I can see that.
And I feel like there's another shoot.
Are there any more whales out there, like new whales, or is it still just
I
think like impossible hard to find stuff that'll probably never get reprinted?
I think there's kind of whales like Marvel Knights Daredevil is out of print right now. I think it's going for about $150 on eBay, but not $300 like with X-Men 1 was, and Thor or Journey into Mystery or Thor 1 Silver Age. How long those?
Oh, I remember those were like $1,000 books at one point.
Jesus. Tomb of Dracula. Is that still?
Tomb of Dracula still hasn't
But it hasn't been anything new, really, besides maybe Spider-Man 2099, right? Like all these ones that have been coming out have kind of stayed the course.
I feel like something else has sold out recently. Let's see if anybody. Secret Wars 2. What? Secret Wars 2 is a whale. Oh yeah, Batman Black Casebook. Yeah, that's a whale. They're temporary whales. Spider-Man 1 and 2 are going for a good amount. I know. Well, no. World War Hulk is getting a reprint. It sold out, but I don't know if that counts as a whale because it's getting a reprint. Let's see. Oh, I know. Well, one of the remaining ones that I don't see ever getting reprinted is Colossal Conan.
Right.
Oh,
that's still a big whale because that's on its third owner now since Dark Horse put that out. And thank you very much. That paid for a month's worth of healthcare for me. 1 month. Thank you, everybody out there.
Like Battle Chasers will probably never get reprinted.
Yeah, Battle Chasers is still, I think, an evergreen whale. That's what the original Naughty and Nice with the DC drawings in it of Bruce Timm. That's right. Because of licensing. I don't want to say never. Danger Girl, so-called absolutes. I think those are still hard to find.
The Justice League JLA Avengers, like
yeah, that's still.
I'm surprised that hasn't been reprinted.
It's funny that the DC Marvel Omnis came out, but not that. What's the difference? I'm wondering between.
And they did that Heroes Initiative trade paperback right before George Perez died.
Yeah, so they figured it out enough to do that for George Perez, but they can't figure it out enough to do it alongside the DC Marvel Omnis. I don't quite get it.
I'm just looking at my collection.
Crisis,
the Crisis Absolute that was never reprinted, right?
Crisis on Infinite Earths,
right?
Gosh, I don't know because I got it and then I didn't keep looking for it. I think Black Mirror is out of print right now. Absolutely.
Right.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, Promethea Absolutes.
Oh,
those are still whales.
But the Deluxes came out, so I don't know if anybody cares anymore, right? I don't know.
What's that?
The Absolute or the Deluxe hardcovers came out.
Right. Promethea. Transmet 3 Absolute is still out of print.
Yep, that's a whale for a lot of people.
That's still a $500 book for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. See if the chat has anything to say. Oh, Wildcat Absolute. That's right.
Yeah. That's still kind of old though, right? That's at least like, what was that, 2019?
Yeah. 2020? I think it was before that even.
Really?
Because I found it. Wait, what year is this? 2024, 2023. I visited. Okay, I found it in 2021 when it. Wait, okay, this is where
I got it here. Where is it?
Yeah, I found it in Pittsburgh when I visited the minister, and I think that was 2021 because it was still a little COVID-y around.
Because I got mine signed by everybody, and that was before COVID.
Absolute Crisis is out of print currently. Which you got Jim Lee and who else?
Scott Williams, Jim Lee, Chris Claremont, Mark Silvestri, and who's the colorist on this? Sinclair.
Wow. Well, you have to hold on to that. Except I think my Avengers books are signed to Gabe from Jonathan Hickman.
Yeah, I think they are.
There are plenty of whales not from Marvel, right? Black Mirror will be reprinted, but that's not an absolute YP. But yeah,
It is
we'll
an
get
absolute.
a deluxe, so people will be able to.
Dark Mirror is an absolute.
Oh, it's getting reprinted as a
No,
absolute?
it's an absolute. Like it's an absolute book. Like it's a
right.
slipcase.
Yep, right. And that's out of print, but the deluxe is coming back. Oh yeah, New 52 Nightwing is a whale.
2017.
That is
when that came out. Okay.
Yeah.
Neil Adams Batman sucks. West Coast Avengers 2. I bet that comes back into print. Absolute Black Mirror. Fatal Attractions. Was that an Omni or an event?
It was an Omni.
I mean, okay, so it wasn't an oversized hardcover. It was an event. I mean,
it's an event, but they put it in an Omni.
Okay, because sometimes they used to do like with Inferno, they just made giant hardcovers, and same with.
Well, it's not. It doesn't say Omnibus on it. It's the exact thing as an Omnibus, but it just has the red Marvel logo on it.
Right.
That's back when it was this way, not it was vertical.
Right.
Yeah, but that's old. I mean, like I was saying, nothing new. These very little, not much. Maybe one or two things.
Yeah.
Falling off.
Here's a hot take. I kind of miss. There's a part of me that misses the scarcity days, because I think there's something cool about having something that's rare, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm super happy that everybody can have these books and read them and stuff like that. And a lot of this stuff is getting out of print. I think that's really cool because it gives people a chance to read them, and they want them, they can get them. There was really something cool about you got a great deal on an Annihilation Omnibus when it was a book at the time that was really hard to get and was going for, you could probably sell one on eBay for close to $600, $700 at its height. And the same thing goes with some of the other out of print stuff. It was, it was a bit of a flex. And as collectors, I know a lot of them out there, they like that flex a little bit. Like, man, I've got something rare. I think it's pretty awesome.
I am agreeing on that as a hot take. I mean, I made my name OmniDog off of finding out of print books for years for people on the original Facebook group where we all met.
That's true.
Before, I mean, that was like 6 years worth of finding books for people, and that was trades, hardcovers, omnis. It was fun having. You're right. It was fun having something that other people couldn't get. As a collector, you're right. The rarity of it, you were like, cool, I don't have to pay $300 for this Omni. I got it for whatever cover price.
I've always said, and you can go back and look, I've always said that I thought omnibuses should have been, it's a premium thing that shouldn't be a mass market kind of thing. I always thought it should have been more niche. I mean, it's a niche of a niche now, but it used to be just like, 12 dudes that cared about omnibuses.
Yeah, that's true.
And then COVID happened, and then it just exploded out of everywhere, and everybody just went for COVIDs, or everybody went for Omnis.
Yeah, but I feel like in general, this is kind of also something I wanted to talk about last week. We didn't get to it though. I feel like in general, just the resale market on everything is down. It's a down time. It's a buyer's market at this point. If you want a rare issue, or if you want a rare omnibus or something like that, I feel like you can probably catch a much better deal than you could 3 or 4 years ago at the height of the pandemic and when everybody was getting stimulus checks. But that extends to just about anything that anybody's collecting: baseball cards, whatever, comics,
except houses.
Well, I will say, as somebody that sold their pinball machine in December of 2022, that as of the beginning of last year, the pinball market was still very hot as a collectible, but I don't know where it is now. But you're right about everything else. If I had the dosh, I would jump on a beautiful copy of like Ultimate Fallout 4. That would be the first thing I'd look for.
Okay.
Or maybe,
I sold mine at the height.
That's good.
Yeah.
First appearance of Miles, right? That's Miles' first appearance.
Yeah.
First appearance of the Maker too.
And you can always salt away a Hulk 181 if you can find it at a good price right now.
Wolverine.
No, those are like those like blue chip books, more or less.
Yeah.
They're always going to be pretty pricey.
But
Book
not as
181, they're
pricey as
always
they
going to
were.
go up. You know, they're never going to get cheaper. You know, Punishers the same way. You know, Death of Gwen Stacy. There's always those just evergreen kind of blue chip books.
Yeah, but I think they're cheaper now than they were. I think even in 2019. Now there's always an exception. Like the TMNT #1, like not the counterfeit, the real one.
Right.
I think that stands alone. Well, I also haven't checked prices in years, so I don't know.
It depends. Depends on what grade you're looking for. I know 9.8s are like, oh God, I want to say 80,000, but I might be wrong. It might be 60, but it's still a ridiculous book.
Yeah,
because there's only like 3,000 of them made back in 1984.
Yeah, and then you had the counterfeit issue, which made it even harder for them to be graded and stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
Does grading? So okay, does grading? Does it feel like the grading thing is kind of not gone and past? Because I do think there is a certain value to having books graded professionally and slabbed and stuff like that. Has it been kind of on the downturn lately? Do you think even those graded books, right? A lot of that stuff is not hitting the highs that it once did a few years ago. Retro video game collecting, it's the same thing. You know, I listen to retro video game podcasts, and they're even saying like, yeah, a few years ago you would pay X amount for this thing, and now it's all down. So I'm kind of wondering where the trend is it's gonna be real in general. The next few years are gonna be interesting. Whether it's the housing market or the automobile market and stuff like that, when people's find it's going to be really interesting to see where these trends are going to go, because things are not we usually don't get into that type of thing, but things are not going well for a lot of people.
I think the collector's market is separate from the general economy because it got pumped up with, as you said, with those stimulus checks.
Yeah.
And I think, and people at home sitting around with nothing to do as they were quarantined, and all collectibles got flooded with newbies that pushed the prices up to unseen peaks, and then it crashed really hard from there. So I don't know if there's an inequality to the economy in general, because I think compared to 4 years ago, 2020, I think the economy is doing better.
Yeah.
But also you don't have those new, as I said, the stimulus money pumping up the value of those books.
Right. Right. And it seems like a lot of these, God, we really don't get into this often, but it seems a lot like a lot of these companies, they want that same thing that they were getting 4 years ago, but it's just not the same now. Prices going up and up and up and up and up, and people's income staying flat. And it seems like people have decided to make a choice. I could either collect the stuff that I want, or I can have dinner.
Gabe might be able to speak to this more than I can about the CGC type grading market. I used to like it in maybe in the 2015 era to buy a graded copy because it took the subjectivity out of it from eBay, because there were always arguments. Somebody would say this is VF plus, this is near mint minus, / mint, and you'd get it and you'd go, oh, this is like a fine minus, and it was all up to the consumer's eyeballs. But if I knew if I was getting an 8.0 comic, it would be an 8.0.
Yeah.
And I'd be willing to pay it wasn't the outrageous premium though that I think it became during the pandemic for a graded book. It was like maybe you pay an extra $50 and you knew you were going to get an 8.0.
A lot of it with the graded books these days, and just comics in general, is there's a few things that we kind of got to look into that's missing these days. there's been no new movies.
Yeah.
For a long time, it was like this character showing up in a movie, this character showing up in a TV show, this character, this character, that. And that bumped up those books. Also, what happened a lot during the pandemic is people graded absolutely every comic book they could. CGC was backed up for like 4 or 5 months, probably even longer, all that stuff. So prices have just died a lot on your common, everyday, like new modern books. Like people would basically get their pull list and grade it.
Yeah, that's right.
Everything was getting graded. It was nuts. All these kind of virtual like companies who were people that anybody could just start up an account at Diamond and you could get exclusive covers and do your own exclusives. All of those are out and getting graded as well. So there was a flood of this stuff out there. So those things have all died. Like I've seen 9/8 of like these foil issues go for like $30, even less, which is less than what it costs to grade a book these days. The graded book is still like $50. So that's the thing that's really been affecting the market is there's nothing really hyping anything right now, other than maybe like Deadpool 3 stuff. But even the Deadpool 3 stuff, I haven't really looked into it too much, but I haven't seen any of that stuff really blowing up. Like Cassandra Nova hasn't really I don't think her issues have popped off or anything of sorts like that. I guess you'll see as we get more information about Deadpool 3 and what other characters, see if that does anything. But I think people just might have even just gotten tired of the chase. Got tired of just that whole kind of super fast FOMO. I got to get everything, prices are to the moon. I'm just keep buying and keep buying. And also with that, with no movies, the things that have been like the hot comic books that have been coming out are things that are really cool, like actual books, like organic hype, like organic prices going up, not because of a movie, not because of a TV show, but because everybody wants to read Ultimate Spider-Man 1, because everybody wants to read the new Transformers. Those books have been getting hyped up a lot for good reason, not because of the movie and not because of anything like that, but just because it's
and their prices have increased.
Yeah. Last thing I saw for Ultimate Spider-Man 1, it was still like a $60 book.
Oh, wow.
For like the A cover. Yeah.
Wow.
That was just out 3 or 4 months ago, right? Or am
3
I wrong?
months? I think issue 2 just came out. I think issue 3 is on its way out.
It was February. The book came out in February.
Okay,
Okay.
so last month. Okay. Yeah, Freddie's right. A lot of trades are out of print. Yeah, Juggernaut is a book Freddie and I are both looking for. It was, like a $15 trade last year, and now it's $40.
Well, even like what's that one that you have, Jess? I hate you for it.
Good.
The Search for Professor X.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's still a very pricey book.
Oh yeah, I just had Peter M and Freddie on last night as that went to the very, very beginning of my pile. I didn't know you were looking for it, or I'd have looked for it for you back when I was looking for it for me.
Nah, no big deal. I got the issues, but that's one of those things where it's like, oh man, I love that era. That's really great Carlos Pacheco era.
Let's see. Deadpool by Joe Kelly is a whale right now. Didn't make it onto the top 20 most wanted Marvel reprint this year.
Because people are crazy. That's such a great series.
That is a great series.
I have that in like singles. I have the Omni. I have the Epic collections. Like I love that series. I own original art from that series.
Another one that Riley hates? No, Riley hates
he hates the Daniel Way stuff.
Daniel Way. Okay.
Oh, you have original art from Deadpool?
Yeah.
Wow.
Let me see. Let me a second.
Yeah, let's see that. Hobbies resell is down because expendable spending is probably way less with inflation for necessary goods. Econ 101. I remember OPB Whatnot sale where Tomasi, Batman, and Battle Robin go up to 300. Now you can get a copy for $70. I have 3 Ultimate Fallouts number 4. Haha, will never sell. There's a flex. Wow, Freddie
That's
flexing.
Cool. I love it.
I do too.
Cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, and it's like you pointed out, a few years ago, everybody was just sitting at home, not doing anything, right? So
People discover their hobbies again. They found new hobbies.
I miss working.
Somebody says Trial of Gambit's $150 book. Jeez.
Trial of Gambit. Okay.
Has Gambit ever had a defining run? I don't think the character's ever had. He's had issues, but a run, right?
He's had some series. He's had a couple, like 3.
He's got 2 complete collections, and I think Trial of Gambit's a separate one, right? Separate from
Trial of Gambit's part of the Uncanny X-Men run. That's just a storyline.
Okay.
I don't know. I kind of feel like he's a character that's ripe for somebody to come in and really do a cool story with him. But nobody seems to have done anything.
Kelly Thompson did a good story with Rogue and Gambit, but not just Gambit proper.
He's married now, so he sucks.
Gambit's
We're all married.
Yeah, him and Rogue got married, Mr. and Mrs. X. That series, which was a really cool series.
Oh, cool.
But whenever characters get married, like, forget about it.
I don't know about that because I've been enjoying the Spider-Man stuff in Ultimate Spider-Man.
Nathaniel's Experience. He was on OmniBros After Dark. Welcome, Nathaniel.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a fun time. We're doing it again this Saturday.
Please join us. We're doing one again
on Saturday.
Oh, you did? This was way after dark.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when we first started. Jess was on during that time.
I missed the pandemic. That's a hot take that I will agree with because it was so easy to drive and nobody was on the road and nobody was in stores.
Oh my God.
I got to stay at home. They sent me checks to stay at home. I was like, this is my Olympics.
Gas was like $1.25.
Man, I've told this before, but I remember the first day that everything got shut down and I went for a run, just how eerie everything felt. Standing in the middle of a very busy intersection in Orlando, literally in the middle of the road, and nobody was there. No cars, no nothing inside. It is the closest thing ever that I've felt like, oh, okay, this is what it's like being in 28 Days Later. When at the beginning, Cillian Murphy is walking around and everything is just dead and empty. It was eerie but peaceful at the same time. I was like, huh, okay.
During that time, somebody was like, if you watch Infinity War, and then you go outside, it's really weird.
Yeah, it is.
It's like everybody got snapped away. I went driving on the strip because everything was closed. Like, we couldn't take our kids to parks. We couldn't take them swimming. Like, we couldn't do any activity stuff with them. So we would take them on drives. We'd be like, we just got to get out of the house. We'd take them on drives. We'd go out to the mountains and stuff like that. And we would drive down the strip, and it'd be nobody on the strip. No. And this is motherfucking Las Vegas strip, like one of the most busiest impact areas of the world, right?
Yeah.
Nobody there except for a couple of wieners on bicycles, you know.
I went to spring break. I went on spring break. We're almost at. We're almost already at 4 years to the day when everything.
We are. It was the 16th.
We are.
We are.
It was March 8th here when the governor shut everything down.
Well, Florida, we.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, the rest of the road. It was the day after St. Patrick's Day.
Okay, so the 18th, yeah.
And we went on spring break, and I remember one of the teachers going, "Yeah, I think we're going to be shut down for 2 or 3 weeks after during spring break." And I said, "We'll be right back in the classroom." No, no,
it didn't go virtual.
It took them about a month to set up going virtual, and
oh yeah, that's right.
That was a disaster.
It was terrible. But for me, it was great because I don't like people. So for me, it was actually great. I loved going virtual. I wish I could go virtual now. It was March all the way till August that at least here they did virtual. And then they did a full year of half the students were virtual, half the students were in person. And you could put your name in for what did you want to work with. I went virtual immediately. I'm like, yeah, come on. So I did that for a whole year. And then after a year, they said, we're not doing this shit again. Everybody comes back to the room. I'm like, oh, well, that was fun.
It was horrible. Like, I've never heard good stories about virtual learning.
It was rough. It was real rough, man. It was rough.
Oh yeah. Larry doesn't trust the pro graders. CGC Slab Godzilla 1, they claimed was 7.5, had a visible staple pull inside the slab. CGC is BS. Never saw Jess in 2000. Well, it was 2016 Jess that's famous, but heard stories of FedEx trucks backing up at his house delivering. That's not a lie.
That's not inaccurate.
2016 just went ham, as they say, or they used to.
There were many problems during that time period.
Yeah, Jess really supported IST at that point for sure.
I'm honestly surprised they didn't show up personally and deliver your books one day and go, "Thank you so much, Jess."
Well, I remember when we started the show, we were all in. Like we would buy everything.
Yeah, it was.
We were all buying everything.
Yeah,
and that was back again. When, again, like this, it was fun. Like it was a little bit more scarce. It wouldn't run out right away, but you give it like a week or so, it would disappear. And it was us and like the Facebook group. It's all it really was for the most part. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and that's that 3 o'clock. You got to run to a computer or your phone or something like that to make sure you get your order in from In Stock Trade, or else. Back then, you remember go out of print quick.
You remember Asian Johnny Depp, right? The hairstylist. He said that he stopped in the middle of doing work to go to the bathroom with his phone and make an order. Like it used to be like that. And I always had jobs where I had internet access. So I was just, oh man, it's 12 o'clock, or it was 9 or whatever. And there it is. I got to put in my orders for this and this and this real quick.
Hey, how many times did you order a book on the golf course, Jess?
I was just going to say, I think that was when Power Rangers Shattered Grid came out, and the first Tyler Blunt got me into Power Rangers, and I enjoyed reading them. I ended up reading them and selling them because I wasn't going to read them again, but I stopped in the middle of the fairway at 3 p.m. and ordered Shattered Grid, and the guys are looking at me like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Just go up to the green. I'll be there in a sec. I got to get Shattered Grid," I whispered to myself. Yeah, because that book.
Sorry. Go
ahead. Go ahead.
Did you place your order and then pull a George W? Like, watch me do this.
No, I had already hit my shot. But at 3 p.m. my alarm went off, and I said, "Oh my God, I gotta get those," because the other books actually did, sold out. Those early Power Rangers, really nice oversized hardcovers, those sold out. And I don't know, maybe we even hyped it up or something.
Well, because the first one, that first green, the green Power Ranger one, the first hardcover, but that thing disappeared, and it was a whale book like right away. And this is back again, like when books would go whale like really fast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is right from AS. There was a company. I don't remember about the rare sneakers, but I remember there was a company that sold fractions. Like you could buy a comic with other collectors, and you'd own that comic, like in the stock exchange. You don't know, like they'd spread out the risk, and everybody would put in $10, and you'd buy a $1,200 book. I feel like that was a pandemic related NFT type. I don't hear about those fractional interest things, but I don't know about sneakers. Lou would know better than I would, but I don't know where those comic book places are now.
I don't know. I've never heard of anything like that where you buy, oh, here's $10 on an Ultimate Spider-Man #1. Okay, so it's an investment. Just buy your books and read them, guys.
I've heard people doing it with big books like Action Comics #1 or like Detective 27, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You would have to, because there's really no point in doing anything smaller. Like, why, you and 10 people buy a $1,200 book, like, where's the return on that? Like,
well,
that book,
that's a good point.
You really have to wait for that book to be like a $5,000 book to really get a return on it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I put $10 on that Spider-Man book by J.J. Abrams. It's going to be great one day.
All six of us put in $1 and we bought that one issue. We lost money on it.
Yeah, you all took a bath on that one.
Here, Nathaniel here. I remember when y'all had separate channels making your own waves and then got together.
God. It's way too long.
That was back when nobody knew about omnibuses, or nobody knew about them being expensive or out of print.
Yeah.
Because that was back in the time when I went to MegaCon with you, Lou. It was me, you, and a bunch of people from the show who watched the show met up with us down there. And, we were the ones that knew about the books. And we were hunting down these booths that were selling like $500 books for like half off cover price. Like we were just snatching books up like crazy that year. Yeah, that's back when like all the Valiant stuff is starting to hit.
Oh,
we found that booth that had all the Valiant hardcovers. Somebody got the variant for Infinity Gauntlet for like $50. That was like a 300 book.
I forgot about that. Infinity Gauntlet was a whale for a while.
Yeah.
Gabe ended up getting the first appearance of Hellboy at that convention.
I did. Yeah. I talked the guy down. I remember.
Trial of Gambit. What did Gambit get arrested for? I don't know the answer to that one.
You have to read the book and find out. It's a secret. Oh. But he's the one that set up the Mutant Massacre, apparently.
Here's a semi-lukewarm take. Comic book conventions are no longer about the comics at all.
Oh, that's not a hot take at all, dude. What are you talking about?
They're not. They're not.
It hasn't been that way forever.
I know.
Big one.
It's been that way since Twilight.
It really, that's kind of what tilted it over and pushed it into the other side of it. But it really hasn't. It's now become go meet Jason Momoa and pay $70 to stand in front of him and take a photo with him and say hi for 10 seconds. And then they funnel you out the other way. It's kind of become that.
The big shows are like that, like the big ones, San Diego, New York, things of that sort. But there's still some like
MegaCon even.
Yeah, MegaCon's probably like that, but there's still some good stuff like WonderCon. There's a lot of like small shows, Here in Vegas, we have a couple small shows. We have a lot of like indie shows that happen like at libraries and stuff like that. But any like real big cons, it's there's no money in the comic book side of things. People want to go. What brings people in is like the movie and TV stuff.
Yeah,
people love the MCU, but nobody's buying Infinity Gauntlet comic books, and nobody's buying that stuff.
Heroes Con was all about comics. It was all about creators sitting there and talking to the fans. I loved Heroes Con.
Is it still like that?
Last year it was, yeah.
Oh, cool.
That was awesome. The first time I ever went.
Oh, okay. That's really cool.
And even Saturday, it was really well managed. There were twice as many people, but all the aisles and the major walkway, they controlled the crowd. The crowd control was really well done.
Okay.
That's a really well run con, and it's all about the creators.
Yeah, there's still something like that. I have a feeling though that it's going to go back to being comics. They're just going to it'll be just smaller. But I think it being about comic books is going to be the idea behind conventions.
Do you feel like we're starting to kind of hit a downturn on the whole geek culture thing, and we're starting to kind of not go back to the way it was, but people are like, I don't really want to go to the con thing anymore. I did my time on it, and it's going to go back to being kind of a niche thing?
I think so. I think with the way, I hate this term and I don't believe in it, but the idea of like superhero fatigue for movies is something that people are feeling. And I think it being cool to be a nerd, I think that's kind of fading away, and it's going to be just the people who are always into it, or the people who are really into it for the actual like lore and culture of the comic books is going to be what's going to be driving these conventions sooner or later.
Okay.
I think people going just to meet celebrities, I think that's going to go away. I have a feeling the celebrities just don't want to do that stuff anymore. I think there's going to be a shift back. It's going to shrink down, but it's going to be more comic book based. I'm just crossing my fingers. I'm hoping. Because we've been to those cons where it's like, all that's here is bullshit and pops. And there's like one guy with the comic book booth, and all of his comics suck. I'm here to buy comic books. I don't want to buy T-shirts. I don't want to buy toys and stuff like that.
You guys want a copy of Grifter #1?
Yeah, like in really bad condition, and like that's in a torn up bag and board. No, thank you.
Pops. I was
That's
way
another
into Pops.
that Jesus, yeah, that's another wave that I think has just died down. I don't know. Maybe people are still really into Pops, but I remember people would wait up outside of stores for Pops. People would just go crazy over these things. Gabe flaunted a cat dog pop in front of
I
us.
still have mine.
That's like one of the only pops I got. The only pops I ever had was like that, and like ones that people gave me. I never fell into the pop thing because before Pops, there was a thing called Mighty Mugs, and I fell into the Mighty Mugs thing, and that went, that died off. But you see these YouTube videos, or you see like these people on Instagram, and they have like a whole wall, and it's all just like stacked up of Pops.
Yeah.
It was a big thing. I've seen like Pop stores where it was like a stores dedicated to just Pops.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, no, I just have 2 Pops left. The Batman of Zur-En-Arrh pop that a friend sent me when it was and it got it's got the upside down bat logo on it, and it was a really rare pop at the time, and he sent it to me free. And it was going for like $250 because there were so few of them made, and it was so popular. I would guess this was around 2018 or 19. The Facebook pop groups stopped letting people advertise for them on there because it got so crazy on these Batman Zur-En-Arrh. But I kept it because it was a nice gift, and of course, fuzzy cat dog.
Zur-En-Arrh.
Let's see. What?
Hot take.
Oh, hot take. Go.
I think Starman is a boring book.
You're a jerk.
I've never read it, but like I've James Robinson's never really done it for me for the things I read of him.
It's called Starman, and he never goes into space for the first half of the book. I'm like, okay, where's the stars? There's no star here.
It was cool though. He was selling collectibles out of a collectibles shop.
Was it?
Yeah, I could relate. I was ultra nerdy, and I loved that he was selling pop culture collectibles.
I'm with Super Laugh Hard on this. Bowie Starman was better.
What? Where's that? Oh, I'm so far behind. I don't even know. Oh, Doc Elevator saying it's good.
I've always wanted to read Starman because I've always heard it was awesome. Heard it was awesome.
I've liked it. Now that was a whale. Starman Volume 3 of the deluxe editions was a super whale.
Oh yeah, I remember those Jesus Christ, that thing was nuts. I remember
the omnibuses. Remember that they would put out. They weren't really omnibuses, right? For Starman?
No, they were deluxe covers.
Oh yeah, they called them omnibus.
Yeah, because they did that with Fourth World. They did have the Kirby's Fourth World. Remember they had those deluxe like hard. They weren't even deluxes. They were like regular size hardcovers on newsprint, but they were dope.
I don't think they finished them, right? Or did they finish that?
I don't think it was complete because I think I might be wrong, but I think the Absolutes and the Omnibuses were the first ones to collect all of the Fourth World stuff. Because there was that War Dogs that was never printed in those, I think. I might be wrong, but I remember it being a big deal that the Omnibuses had the War Dog issues in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember trying to read it and going, this guy's got daddy issues. Okay.
Who's Starman?
Yeah, the Starman book. It's because it's all about picking up the mantle, and it's his son.
Yeah, he does have issues, yeah.
Yeah, and all the stuff that he has to go through and everything like that. And he picks up the mantle eventually, and he's a collector, and it makes him relatable as a character. I need to go back and read it, but I found most of it to be boring at the time when I was reading. I kept falling asleep.
How dare you?
I did.
Pops are still expensive, Kane says. Okay. William Lee says you still see people go crazy over pops at NYCC. Yeah, I think those are like pops that are only sold at NYCC. And yeah, I remember they would have rare pops that they would only sell at NYCC, and those collectors that's where, Lou, what you were saying, people would stand outside the convention hall early
Yep.
to get their hands on the NYCC pops.
Yeah, San Diego was like that too. You had to get you had to stand and get a ticket. It was like a whole ticket system. You had to draw a ticket, and then that was your chance to get it. It was weird.
Wait, Mary said something. I'm fortunate. Hey, Mary. I'm fortunate in this area. We have a variety of smaller cons that are all about comic books. At my local LCS con, I met Snyder and Tom King.
That's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, the small shows are always cool. Like those local ones that are just kind of like in some random hotel or the smaller convention center in your area. Those are always cool because they're always about comic books.
Yeah,
but you go to the big ones and they're like multi-million-dollar companies and multi-million-dollar events. Then you got to bring in the celebrities. You got to bring in, the movie booths and the TV show booths. Like I've been on both sides of the table at San Diego. I've set up at San Diego as a vendor like 3 or 4 years, and I've been like an attendee for like 20 years. And I seen it go from the comic book landscape from being most of the convention down to just like this little corner piece, because they keep raising the prices of the booths because they want to sell it to like the movie companies, the TV companies, or like the pops or the big businesses that can drop, $500,000 for a booth.
Rosie, you're right. The creator list for Baltimore is great. I may consider going to Baltimore this year. I know Very Fine Condition and his wife will be staying with us. So I may go up on a Friday. I wouldn't go up on a Saturday, but I might go up Friday.
I don't know. I'm starting to think I might have outgrown the con thing.
Outgrown
might be the what? Outgrown might be the wrong word. Because I haven't been to a con in since the pandemic. Since before the pandemic, and part of me is like, you know what, I kind of miss it, and then the other part of me is like, do I?
Here's the guest list for Baltimore.
I was debating about taking my 12-year-old to one this summer because I know she'd dig it, but she would. We'll probably just go one day.
Oh, John Cassidy's going to be there. You see if he like broke his hand or something.
Poor John Cassidy.
Oh yeah, Amy Chu's cool. Frank Cho, Michael Cho's cool.
Michael Cho.
Steve Epting.
John Cassidy is like the Jose Canseco of
Speaking of Jose,
man, he used to be so cool, and I was like, oh, it's Jose Canseco.
Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. I didn't know he was still alive, to be honest.
I didn't either. Klaus Janson.
That's a good list.
I could take a Daredevil book to have him sign. Dan Jurgens.
There you go, Jess.
Barry Kitson, Jim Lee.
Wait, Jim Lee? Wow.
Mike McCone. Al Milgram, Terry Moore.
Jesus, this is a stack.
Fabian Nicieza, Jamie Palmiotti. Jesus, I think everybody's out their COVID phase. Everybody wants to go out and do cons again.
Well, I might go to this. I could have Palmiotti sign my Harley Quinn book.
This is a stack list, man.
Don Rosa.
Liam Sharp.
Ooh,
Walter Simonson.
Yeah, and Louis Simonson. They're both of you there.
Yeah.
Don Simpson. Babs Tarr, she's super cute. I love her work too. Mark Waid.
Mark Waid.
I thought I said Micro Ringo for a second. I was like,
I
wait,
thought so too.
did they dig him up and are they going to weaken and Bernie's him or what?
Oh,
Get your
Lionel
photo with
Francis
him?
Hughes. Lionel Francis Hughes, really cool at Heroes Con. I just asked for his autograph on a book, and we spent. There was a line at first, and so I went back when it had died down, and he shared his Sour Patch gummy bears with me.
Nice.
He said, "Here, have some of these. I've had too many." I'm like, "Oh no, dude, I couldn't do that to you." He's like, "No, come on, have a seat, let's chat." And that's what Heroes Con was. I don't know that that's going to happen at Baltimore, but that's why I liked Heroes Con. Yeah, I had Sour Patch gummy bears with.
Yeah, that's rad, dude. And he
Yeah,
he's
or
from
no.
he lives in the Philippines, so he's taking a big trip to go to Baltimore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Wait,
Mark
what's
Wolfman?
Babs Tarr done? Is she done Batgirl?
Yeah, she did Batgirl. She used to do the coverage for Batgirl.
Okay.
The Burnside. She has a bunch of her own stuff she used to do.
Can we check out the celebrity guest? Who do we got there? Can I mean? Let's see. Guest list, exhibitors, retailer, artist, talent, media guest. There we go.
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet.
See what they got for exhibitors. Nothing. Retailers. Oh, here. That's guests.
They don't have any media guests yet?
When is this con? September? It's a little
I think
early.
it's September. Oh, okay.
That's a
I
little
was
early.
going to go to Awesome Con because Ming Na was going to be there, and I would be happy to take a picture with her, but then she canceled, and I said, "Okay, I'm not going."
Wow.
That was a couple of weeks ago, and or a week ago, and I said, "Meh." It's easy to get to here in Washington.
Is it that far?
No.
It's in Jersey or something, right?
Oh, wait, what are we talking about?
Awesome
Con?
No, it's in Washington. It's in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Cool, man.
And so I can just take the metro there, and with a big stack of books, Pomiana kind of stated they would do a sketch to every Harley Omni they see. They're going to see 3 of them from me then. Here you go.
What?
Sketch away, monkeys.
No, you haven't interviewed Pomiana, right?
I haven't, no.
Okay.
See, Jess, you should go to the con and get people on the show. You need to get some contact info.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mr. Palmiotti, will you be on my podcast, sir? I know you did very fine.
Is that what you could sound like? You're probably right.
Did you bring your wife too? She's so cool.
I know
It's
you did
hard.
very fine conditions podcast.
I think I might be able to get him now, except I just don't. I think it's easier to get him right now. He's in a slow spot because a friend of mine, Brian Brewster, has a YouTube show, and he got Palmiotti, and I was supposed to be on there, but I had priorly committed to a Very Fine Condition show that night.
Ooh.
Oh, you made the wrong choice.
Yeah, perhaps. But he's supposed to be such a cool guy, and I'm sure his wife is too.
Oh, he's came into Torpedo before. I've hung out with him at the store. He's rad.
I'm so
jealous
for that, man.
Yeah, he's just a hardcore New Yorker guy. Like, he's got that attitude. He loves comic books. Like, he's super cool.
That is one of the things that I'm jealous of you about. Respectfully jealous is that, damn, you met so many cool creators and had dinner with them and gotten to have drinks with them and stuff like that. I think that's really awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Some of my best memories, yeah, for sure, was getting drunk with like Jock and Scott Snyder.
Wow.
Okay, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Who's the one that could drink you under the table
Oh Jesus.
of the creators you've met?
Jock, he's hardcore, dude. Jock's bad. He partied the night before the night before the signing. Came in hungover and he was like, I don't know what I can do about this. I'm all messed up. And we were like, here's some more alcohol. Like, this is what you need. A little bit of hair of the dog that bit you. You need to start pounding drinks away, getting some more.
Is he
He's
British?
Scottish?
Oh, well, there it
Something like
is.
Yeah.
People from the UK, I mean, this is a generalization, but I found that people from the UK they have way more capacity for
Oh, yeah.
alcohol.
Oh yeah, it's way more acceptable there. Apparently, like I've known people that used to live there, and they said, yeah, like we first thing you do in the morning is you get drunk and then you go to work.
Oh man.
Yeah, I remember when I came out to visit you, Gabe, for J. Scott Campbell and Adam Hughes. Both of those guys had stuff early.
No, we always drunk and we always partied at those signings. Always.
Yeah, they were very nice back in the green room, especially Adam Hughes. He was very amenable to, doing. He took his time on all my signings and stuff. It was really cool.
Yeah, they were great guys. I'm glad you had such a good time with that.
Oh yeah, I did.
It was so much
really
fun.
Yeah.
Oh, Grant Morrison. I didn't party with Grant Morrison, but I got so wasted at Morrison Con that I blacked out and woke up on my couch the next morning covered in McDonald's French fries.
Morrison told you the secrets of life.
Yeah.
You partied with him, right?
No, it was Morrison Con because it was a big so Morrison Con was a big con, not a big con. It was a cool little show, but then afterwards they rented out this club that was downstairs. This is in a Hard Rock casino, and they rent out the club downstairs, so it was just the con people there with Grant Morrison. There was a bunch of celebrities and stuff there too, and I got fucking wicked wasted. Like I was drinking with Derek Robertson. I was drinking with
John Lehman. I think was
Jonathan Hickman. Like I was just partying it up. And I woke up the next morning on my couch covered in McDonald's French fries with text messages from all my friends. And there's a picture of me with Grant Morrison. Like, I don't even remember that happening. So the last day of the show, I saw him again. I told him the story. He's like, oh yeah, I told you the secrets to the universe that night.
And this was when Morrison was Morrison, right? When he was firing on all cylinders at that time.
Absolutely. This is like, oh God, it was before he did Multiversity. But he was out because he was talking about Multiversity at the time.
God, man. That was such a
powerhouse.
Multiversity is such a crazy project. There's a lot of good stuff there, and there's a lot of stuff there that makes me go, huh?
Hayden, I've heard good things about Spider-Boy from Max. He says Spider-Boy is a ton of fun.
You know what? Sorry, go.
No, go ahead. I didn't have anything.
No, I'm all over the place today.
That's fine.
You know, one of Multiversity actually has my favorite Shazam story.
Oh yeah,
Grant Morrison does a one-shot issue in there of Shazam, and I'm like, why can't Morrison do this book all the time? It was. I
remember that.
It was so good.
A melted Slinky. Freddie says it's all the titles except Amazing. Apparently, there's 5 Spider titles out right now, and Amazing's not one of them.
That's 6 horrible.
Spider titles.
How do you have 5 Spider-Man titles, but the main cornerstone of Marvel, Spider-Man, is garbage?
That's actually very true. Hot take: Dan Slott's Spider-Man run will be remembered as a modern-day classic.
I don't know that I'd argue with that. I think the more people see it in their rearview mirror, the more they appreciate it. I think you're right.
He was getting
the more Zeb Wells does Spider-Man, the more people see that.
He was getting a lot of shit for that run when it was coming out. Who's
writing it now?
I think it's still Zeb Wells.
Oh, he's still doing it?
He's still doing it.
But that's crazy because I read his New Mutant stuff and it was really good.
I see people in the chat saying, is that a hot take? Guys, do you remember how much shit Slott was getting when that run came out? When that whole Dr. Octopus Superior Spider-Man thing came out? How much crap he was getting? And then it turned out to be one of the best modern day runs. Everybody, when they brought back Peter, everybody went, ah, shit. I kind of missed Doc Ock as Superior Spider-Man.
Well, okay, if that's not a hot take, here's my hot take then. I think Dan Slott's run is the last good run on Amazing Spider-Man.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, who have we had since?
It was Nick Spencer, right? After that?
Was
which
Nick?
is really sad because that was when Ryan Otley was doing Spider-Man.
Yeah, I remember that. And then
Sad
after
is I was hoping Otley deserves more of a spotlight. Like, he's amazing. He's another guy I've had dinner with before. He's a great guy, and I love his artwork. He deserves a bigger spotlight. I mean, you can't get much bigger than Invincible these days, but I think he deserves more.
Did he take over? What was the book he took over when
Hulk.
What's Hulk? Okay.
Yeah, it was Hulk. When that whole situation with Donnie happened.
Donny Cates. That's right. That's right.
Which he's posting more now on social media. He looks good. I'm like, man, I'm hoping.
Good.
Yeah. He posted the other day online. I'm like, oh, good to see you, man. God, I hope he comes back.
That's a wildest story. We were all like, man, is he on drugs? Like, what happened to him? No, he got in a really terrible accident and almost died.
Yeah.
And lost 6 months of his memory.
There was a lot of shady accusations there, and it turns out, no, he was in a car accident, and it literally erased about 6 months of his memory.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's right.
Yeah, he's been through quite a few years. It's been rough on him.
Yeah. Dan Slott was getting death threats.
Over Superior Spider-Man. Oh,
yeah.
I looked at that. I looked at Spider-Man 700 when I was still pulling floppies, and I was like, this looks good. That was my first Dan Slott. And I said, okay, I'm in. So I think you're right. That is going to be, and I guess Gabe's take is right too. If that's the last good Spider-Man. I haven't read Nick Spencer, so I can't say, although I do own one of the books.
Hell, I got death threats for spoiling Spider-Man dies. Death of Spider-Man. On the cover of the book. I can't believe you fucking ruined the end of the book.
That's awesome.
Reading comprehension is tough, kids. It's tough for a lot of people these days.
I'm talking about Amazing Spider-Man, and that's Ultimate Spider-Man. That's a different universe.
That's Ultimate Spider-Man.
Because like what NFL dude says, Nick Lowe and the Spider-Man editors have a tight grip on Spider-Man, and they let him just be a shitty title, apparently.
So the other Spider titles get to flex their creative muscles, do something fun, and then the flagship title has to be boring because they won't let the writer do something interesting.
No, listen, the flagship title is Ultimate Spider-Man right now. Okay, that's the only Spider-Man book you need to read. Oh, and the Superior Spider-Man stuff. Basically what Dan Slott is doing right now, and Ultimate Spider-Man.
Oh, that's right. Dan Slott's doing Superior again, right?
Thank you, God.
That's like the third Superior title they've had. That's weird.
They keep bringing it back because the concept is cool and people love.
There was the last good Spider-Man run. There was the last good Spider-Man run.
It's super fun to see Doc Ock be in Peter Parker's body and make his life better in a lot of ways. I love that book so much because Doc Ock just goes, "The fuck you mean he's not a doctor? No, we're not doing this. He's got to be a doctor. He's like a genius.
He's just some photographer."
He gets him his doctorate. He starts a company. The company blows up. He has a successful relationship. For a while, things were going really well for the guy.
Yeah. And also out of that run, we got another great run that almost nobody but us talks about. Superior Foes of Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. That
you know what? I don't think that book's been reprinted. I think that's a whale.
Is it? I know it hasn't been reprinted.
I don't know if
yeah.
It hasn't been reprinted. I don't know. It may not be popular enough to be a whale.
Yeah, nobody cares about that book but us.
No, Superior Foes is hilarious. It's brilliant. It's
I love Beetle. The
really
female Beetle. She's on her phone the whole time. Like, what the fuck ever. I don't care. Shut up. She's awesome.
The big reveal in the last issue when you find out what everything that has happened has led up to is the dumbest thing, but it fits so well for that character. The baseball thing.
Yeah, and I love I still have my action figures, which I am keeping from that run, Superior Foes.
Oh,
And the mafia head guy on the little tank or car. Where did that come from? That just cracks me up. And I love having the action figure holding the little mafia
oh
guy's
my
head on the
God.
car.
Shocker being a dick throughout that whole book.
They're all dicks, dude. Like Boomerang's like a failed father or something. Like, oh my god, it's such a good. Seriously, those of you watching this now, or if you're watching this on a repeat, it's $115 book. It looks like on eBay, whatever.
Well,
But
that's not bad. It was like a $75 book.
yeah, I mean that's cheaper than an omnibus now. It's a really small omnibus. I have it here. It's worth it. It's 1000% worth it. If you haven't read this series before, you owe it to yourself. If you're a Spider-Man fan, like we were saying, it's extremely funny, which is really hard to do in comic books.
Yeah.
It's really hard to make a comic book funny because the timing and things like that has to be on point. And this series is great. You don't need to. It's not interconnected with anything else. It's like, what is it? Maybe 30 issues.
It's not.
Oh, I don't even think it's. Is it even that many?
20, 18, something like that.
It's a thin omnibus.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, it sold poorly, but it had enough of a diehard following that they let him finish the run.
Was it Nick
17?
Spencer?
17 issues.
Yeah, it was Nick Spencer.
Yeah.
It was Nick Spencer, except for I think 2 issues, and they made a joke about it after those 2 issues. When he comes back to write the book,
and there's hardly any Peter Parker in it.
No,
it's all the Superior Foes.
Yeah,
and the artwork is great by Steve Lieber.
Steve Lieber.
Steve Lieber.
Yeah.
Dr. Doom is so good in this book. The painting.
I need to read this again. Oh, there's the mafia guy's head. He's eating pizza. What
are we doing a read through? Are we feeling kind of a read through of this?
I would be happy to read this again.
I have it. Just as it. Yeah.
I could get it. We could do a reread.
Yeah. I'd be happy to read this for next week. Yeah, we should promote the heck out of this.
That's a great book. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I'll put down. I'm reading Preacher right now, but I'll put Preacher down. And I'll do Superior Foes.
Okay, I'll keep this out. This is hilarious. I love.
Let me pull mine out. I'm gonna make sure I have it on hand.
1 through 17. Yeah, and it was $50.
Jesus,
those were the days. So that means I probably got it on IST for $25.
That was also the days when IST was 50% off too. A lot of books.
Yeah,
on almost everything.
Thanks to the Diamond Monopoly.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot how good this series. I mean, it just doesn't come up as often because nobody talks about it. But yeah, this is such a good book. Yeah, that's happening. That's happening.
We got to do a reread. It's a book that justifies it. Honestly, I'm down for it. It's such a fun read.
I can start it Monday and be done by Wednesday. Yeah.
Looking for the retiree.
17 issues. Yeah, you can knock that out. I'll be able to knock that out within the next week. I think.
The rate this man reads omnibuses, Jess will knock that out in his breakfast.
No, I meant me.
Oh,
yeah, the ones who aren't retired, the ones that have new families.
Hey, I was there once. I kind of wish I was back there again.
Oh yeah, you're never nothing you ever want more in your life than your kids to be kids again.
Yeah,
that too. I
just started working with Brits today, and they're still hardcore into smoking too.
Oof.
Brits start drinking hardcore at like 14, 15. What is that? That's the atomic clock. Was that 2:15 in real time?
2:15. That's correct.
2:15 in the afternoon. Well, at least they don't start at breakfast time.
You hanged out with John Wilson. God bless that. You hanged out with him when he was a heavy smoker, according
Those
to
are my
you.
last cigarettes with him.
Yeah, man.
He sent you
Yes, he did.
that Hellboy thing, right?
Yeah.
What
It's at
was
my
that?
parents'.
A sign, like a signed poster or something?
He was cool enough that he met Mike Mignola. I forgot where it was, and he got him to sign a small card with a Hellboy design on it, and he mailed it to me. I didn't know I was gonna get it. It was a total surprise,
Yeah.
and he sent it to me. It's still at my parents' house. I have it stored somewhere, and man, that means more to me now than it did even then, considering he has now moved on and he's passed away. Man, yeah, he was a smoker from what you told me. Not just a smoker.
That's funny though, because I realized lately that I don't see people smoke anymore as much.
Vape. You see vaping a lot.
I do see that. Yeah.
Maybe it's because weed's legal here and they do that instead. I don't know. I saw a guy smoking the other day. I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was, I think, 2000.
Because even casinos, I don't even think most casinos you can smoke in anymore. I think they've cut that.
Oh yeah, they probably have special places for them. I know when you go to a baseball game, there's a designated place where you have to walk out to smoke. I feel like that was 2018 Baltimore where I saw John, and those are my last ones because I came home reeking of cigarette smoke, and my wife said, "That's it." Okay, I'm glad I enjoyed him. John and I had fun. It was,
And that was the end of the conversation.
yeah, it was like a 3-month smoking experience.
But you grew up. It was a different generation. It was a different time. Smoking was very much accepted in pop culture in the 60s and then the 70s and things like that. It was everywhere. People would be in rooms. Yeah.
You don't even see ashtrays anymore anywhere.
No.
There
They're
used
not
to
even
be
in cars
ashtrays
anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say there used to be ashtrays in cars, and the cigarette lighter is there now, so you can plug in to power your phone.
Yeah.
There's nobody sticking a cigarette down in their console so they can light it.
back when men were men, right, Jess? That was a good one.
Well, I saw for some reason I'm on my not my YouTube, on my Facebook page. Sometimes I get Frank Sinatra stuff, and he, of course, he had a cigarette in his hand and a drink in the other hand throughout.
Unfiltered camos.
Yeah, and
Lucky Strike.
They had a picture of him resting at home listening to music, and he had a giant bowl full of cigarette packs, so everybody that came in could grab a pack and they'd always be able to smoke. I grew up, both my parents smoked, so I grew up secondhand smoke till I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
So, and my brother and sister both smoked, but they quit. Everybody smoked, except when I got to college, then there were a lot fewer smokers. There were like 3 guys in my fraternity. I knew one girl that smoked that was outside, that I was friends with. That's when I started seeing fewer people smoking, was in the 80s.
I can't stand the smell of it. I can't stand the smell of cigarettes. I detest the smell of cigarettes.
That's the picture, Gabe, right there. Yeah, see him with his dog. See that stack in front? That's cigarettes right there.
And those are probably used.
No.
Those are new packs.
Those are brand new packs for his guests.
This is back when doctors would tell you smoking was good for you.
While pregnant.
Wait.
Yeah, well, this is also like I remember watching Mad Men, and the doctor's smoking while they doing like a gynecological check on the wife at one point.
I remember that
big hit and go look between her legs and be like,
I remember that.
Do it again. Like it was a thing.
It was a thing, unfortunately.
Well, I grew up in the 80s and everybody smoked. Like my mom still smokes. She's the only person I know who smokes still. But it was everywhere. Like, smoking sections in groceries or in restaurants, smoking sections everywhere. Like people just walked around and smoked. It wasn't that people would smoke in the car with the baby. It'd be no big deal. It was just like, all right, well, cool. You know,
Yeah,
whatever.
the baby that was standing up in the back seat because there were no car seats.
No car seats and no like seatbelts really.
No seatbelts. Yeah. And there were growing up, there were no smoking sections anywhere. I mean, you go into a restaurant, people smoked in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Safeway. I imagine the casinos in Las Vegas, everybody smoked back then. So
absolutely. Those things are just covered in smoke.
Yeah.
So both my parents were smokers. My dad, I haven't spoken to my dad in like 7 years at this point or something like that. But last time I saw him, he was still smoking. My mom quit, but she quit off and on for a while, and then eventually she just gave it all up altogether. Oh my God, the smell, just the stench of it was terrible.
You ever kiss a girl after she smokes? It was gross.
I have actually
many times.
Yeah.
College, many times.
I had a fondness for the goth girls in high school. I did not.
Well, yeah, that was the worst, dude.
When I was a freshman in high school, 1973. I think I already told this, but maybe it's on a different show. There was in California, we didn't have indoor schools. They were, everything was outdoors. Not the classrooms, but because of the
like the hallways and stuff like that.
Yeah, they were all outdoors, and there was a smoking section for kids, and you could go there, and they did have a separate smoking section for kids. I don't even think you had to get your parents' permission. I can tell you plenty of kids there did not have their parents' permission. It was not always cigarettes either. It was not always cigarettes. There was plenty of weed getting smoked there in 1973.
I just remember kids getting busted for smoking in the bathrooms.
I remember that. Yep, I remember that. Gabe, did your dad ever make you drive him home because he was a little bit too messed up and you were underage?
No, my dad drove better when he was messed up.
Because my dad made me do that once. He's like, "Okay, you're gonna learn to drive." I'm like, "What?" He goes,
"How old are you?"
On the corner. 11.
What?
11. 12?
Did you even reach the pedals?
I could barely. I'm like on the toes, but he's like, "You can make it home." I'm like, "Okay." Oh my God.
What the hell?
No way, dude. My dad told me, he was like, I drive better when I'm drunk. And I was like,
it was literally around the corner. We were in a cul-de-sac, but I'm like, okay, sure. And then I drove, and he's talking me through this whole thing between slurs and smoking a cigarette. And I'm just like, I hope to God I don't die today.
Oh my God. That's incredible.
He would send me in because he knew, Jesus. Yeah, he knew the owner of, my dad was a bit of an alcoholic and a smoker. He knew the owner of the gas station, so he'd give me a couple bucks and he'd go pick me up a pack of cigarettes. And
did he give you a note? Because my mom used to give me a note, and I would go to.
I never got a note. Go pick me up a pack of cigarettes and a tall boy, and get a candy bar for yourself too. And I'm like,
a tall boy. They sold the tall boy to you?
It was
what the fuck,
dude? I grew up in a rough area, and my dad knew the owner because he frequented the place a lot.
That's funny. I remember my mom would give me notes to go buy her cigarettes at the grocery store.
That worked? Wow.
Yeah, that worked. Yeah. This is like the early 80s too. I was probably like 7.
Oh man, for me it was 98, 97. I probably was like 7 or 8 years old.
Can you just see a 7-year-old Lou walking back from the store with a tall boy in a brown bag or whatever, a pack of cigs and a candy bar for himself?
I really like the candy bar.
What candy bar did you get?
It was a Hershey's Cookies and Cream.
Oh,
every time.
That's your dad knew what he was doing then.
You know what he's doing.
I guess. Wow.
I remember when I turned 21 though, or even when I turned 18 and then when I turned 21, I was my dad's bitch to get him beer and cigarettes for sure.
Wow.
I was like, oh, cool. Like, I'm 18. I can do whatever I want now. I'm like, yeah, you can go to the store and give me some cigarettes and some beer. I'm like, fuck. That's when I was like, I would go to the grocery store and buy groceries. Like, oh, man, I was like, man, I wish I was 17 again. Fuck.
Kane, I'm glad to hear that. We should do a read through. I bought the second one. I'd be happy to reread Kill Lock with you too. I hope you, if you want to do that, let me know. I love that book.
I remember the ice cream truck. You could buy like candy cigarettes. That would
yeah.
like, it wasn't smoke, but it'd be like some kind of like candy dust or meth on it, whatever, and it would go out and smoke.
I remember those. They were like, weren't they like gum or something?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, they'd sell them so kids could pretend they were smoking. I totally remember those packs. They looked like fake Lucky Strike packs, and they had candy cigarettes in them. Wow.
I never smoked though, but I remember smoking bubble gum, basically.
It was cool. It was a cool thing. It was like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. Wow.
Super laugh hard. I'm pretty sure I delivered weed for my parents once or twice in the 70s.
I'm so far behind in the chat. Oh my gosh. Oh, CNSS also did it too.
40 ounces of Colt 45.
45. Whoa, yeah.
100.
Yeah.
No, my dad was a Marlboro Red guy. That was
the
brand. And God forbid I got the wrong brand.
You gotta get the 100s, son. Gotta get the 100s. Hard pack.
Oh yeah.
How about this? Remember like pool halls and they had like cigarette machines?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you could just buy it yourself. Like they didn't care. You just go in there and just buy, you could buy a hard pack of Marlboro Reds back then.
Yeah, it was like 50 cents.
Yeah, my dad's pack was Marlboro Reds. And if I brought him back anything else, it was not a good time.
Did you have to pack them for your dad too?
No, he never made me do that.
I remember that. But Bob brings up a good point. Clove cigarettes. I remember those from college. Did goth girls smoke those clove cigarettes with you, Lou?
No, I never smoked. I've never liked the smell.
No,
of
I know,
smoke.
but the goth girls, do they smoke those clove cigarettes? Do you remember those?
I never asked what brand of cigarette it was. All I know is that it's horrible.
They were just hot chicks with like a lot of mascara.
Do you know what clove cigarettes are?
I don't. No, I'm not a cigarette guy.
Never heard of BDs?
They come from like Malaysia or Java or someplace in Southeast Asia, and they're specially treated tobacco, and they smell like cloves.
Oh wow.
But when you're young and in college and not used to smoking, they get you high as fuck.
Really?
You get the biggest high from them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Kretek, right? I remember those. Now they're all machine rolled. They used to be hand rolled. They'd be like big fatties, big joints that you'd get in the packs. Yeah, they still sell them, but they are incredibly bad for you. They're like 50 times worse than regular tobacco.
Yeah, it was like smoking like a cigar.
Is that bad?
They treat them with chemicals to smell like cloves.
Oh, Jesus.
So yeah, these things. I remember them in college. I don't think I've had them since. But yeah, they got you wasted.
The good old days.
I've been to Dylan's Candy Bar, Kane. We when we were in New York City, we went there. That's a cool place.
I think Cracker Barrel sells retro candy.
Oh, do they?
I'm pretty sure. I used to work at a Cracker Barrel. I think that stuff was retro. It certainly looked retro.
Oh yeah, smoking on planes. Remember smoking on planes?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Everybody would smoke in planes, which is insane when you really think about it.
Well, what about somebody mentioned in the chat, Camel Joe? Remember Camel Joe?
Oh yeah.
But here's the thing. They marketed at one point cigarettes to kids.
Yes, that was Camel Joe.
Flintstones were smoking. They had smoking commercials. You had
Oh yeah, I do remember those. Yeah,
And and they would not play them during cartoons, but still.
yeah. Fred and Barney were taking drags off of cigs in the commercials.
Oh, absolutely.
It's supposed to calm you down or something. I don't know.
Black
Jar 'em, right?
Wow. It's Black and Miles. I knew a lot of people in high school that smoked Black and Miles.
What are those?
It's just a cigarette. It's a form of a cigarette, but the smell of it it's hard to explain. But I knew a lot of people that smoked it back in high school.
It's like a tiny cigar. It's what people like make blunt out of a lot.
Oh, okay. I don't think I know about Black and
Like
Miles.
Sister Sweets and stuff.
Oh! I do know about those.
Here's Camel Joe.
He was so cool. No. I remember Camel Joe.
Budweiser had a dog, right? They had a dog that they had in their commercials to like advertise to kids.
They stopped using
Bud McKenzie.
They stopped using him, right? They can't use Camel anymore, right?
All this stuff got like taken away in the 90s.
Yeah.
Let's see. Does it show?
Are you telling me that my dupe looks high to you, CNSS?
A little bit.
How many years has it been, Jess, since you last smoked a cigarette? Was it John Wilson?
Yeah, it was John Wilson. So I think 2018. I didn't really smoke that long.
Good for you.
I was going through a little bit of I was struggling with my I had a chunk there for about 6 months where I was struggling with my alcoholism, and so I started smoking to take it, to give myself a different vice to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got back on track when Patty smacked me when I came back from Baltimore. But that's really only the only time period that I struggled for about 6 months. I feel like it was 2018.
That's awesome, man. That's good for you.
So 1997 is when they ended the Camel Joe campaign.
It didn't last that long.
When did it start?
Right?
I feel like they were selling T-shirts and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They had like 74. 74.
74?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. A lot longer than I thought. Yeah, they were selling T-shirts. You can go to the flea market and you can get T-shirts. You might still find some there. Right?
Oh, no. They had jackets and stuff. Like, look at these like Camel Joe jackets. Look at that thing's awesome.
That is kind of cool.
I know some people that would wear that today, and it probably smells like cigarettes.
Do they still sell unfiltered cigarettes? I guess you guys probably don't even know.
Probably.
I never smoked, but I had a Zippo lighter growing up. I don't know why. I just thought they were cool. Do you remember those games, Zippo lighters?
Yeah, they're still around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I used to have.
I thought of you the other day because I found a Hellboy Zippo lighter on eBay.
Oh, ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think they still do unfiltered Camels, maybe.
Huh.
Lucky Strikes, good old Lucky Strikes. I had a friend that smoked Lucky Strikes in school because of Frank Sinatra.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Hayden says Brits can drink and smoke heavily because we get that free health care to take care of us. Financed by the tax of tobacco and alcohol, Hayden.
I'd rather not, but cool.
Oh, here's Jaggernaut. What up, buddy?
Tobacco? Remember Tobacco in The Simpsons?
Oh, yeah.
The tobacco and the tomatoes?
Yeah. Tobacco, that's right.
I remember that. Where they cut it in half and there's tobacco inside.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one. Oh, I was thinking about one, Lou, that I wanted you to watch. I'm trying to think of what one it was. It'll come to me. It was so funny to me. I can't think of what it was. It involved Homer, of course. Oh, it's because I listened to Sinatra's It Was a Very Good Year, and it was when Homer quit drinking and he started singing It Was a Very Good Beer. He was pouring beer down the sink because he had to quit drinking, and he was saying it was a very good beer. He goes through the whole song.
Tobacco.
What does it say? What tobacco? What season was that? Does it say it all?
I want to watch this episode now. I need to watch this episode again.
Yeah.
Season 11, episode 5.
Oh,
wow,
okay.
late into it. Late into it.
Yeah, much later than I thought.
Yeah, that's back when it was still good, though.
Lash G says, I was 14 when I bought my first pack of cigarettes, and unfortunately I bought my last earlier today. Hey man, good for you.
All right, man. Good luck, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, good luck, bud. Good luck, pal.
Oh,
Keep up the good fight, man. I've heard that that's worse than kicking heroin.
It was hard for me, and I only smoked them for 6 months.
Oof. All right.
Hey, here's Honda. What up, buddy? Good to see you. My
Yeah, man.
Bay
Thanks for
Area
popping
buddy.
in. Hell yeah.
I've heard that. I've heard the Simpsons have been kind of on an upswing lately.
Oh,
Stuff they've been putting
Simpsons
out.
has been killing it lately?
Yeah, I've heard they've been on
Really?
an upswing the last few years.
Oh my goodness, I got to start watching it again. That used to be my favorite show.
Oh man, that was like a family show. Like my family, we would all just get together and watch it like every night.
Yeah, okay, that's good to know. Hayden, like
Ooh.
how many seasons? my laugh is the same at everything. April, James clipped my reading of April and put it in my Discord, Lou. Reading the whole apocalypse and stuff and everything. It's really funny. Since the mid-20s, each season has been getting better. Okay.
Man. Yeah. You know, I went back probably like a month ago and I started watching some old Family Guy when they first came out. They gave no fucks. Old Family Guy was some of the jokes they told, man. They made me even go, wow. Some of it would not play today. A lot of those old jokes would be like, not because it's too wrong, but because Fox itself and Disney itself would probably be like, yeah, there's no way you're telling that joke.
Well, that show used to get canceled. It got canceled a couple times at first.
3 times. I think
the first couple seasons, it only lasted like a season or two, and it get canceled, and then it would come back.
Man, but some of those jokes back then, I was like, Jesus.
And wait, who does Meg now? Mila Kunis?
Yeah.
But there was somebody different for the first year.
I think you're right.
Wasn't it? I thought it was always Mila Kunis.
No, the first season had somebody different, and I can't remember why she stopped doing it. But of course, Mila Kunis rakes in boatloads for doing that now.
I think that's all she does now. Which, hey, man, good for you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Those early episodes of, and I will say, I laughed at all of those horrible jokes.
I still laugh at them. They're terrible, but I find them funny.
Yeah. Kane, not a fan of Family Guy.
Oh, Lacey Chabert. Wow.
What's that?
There's Lacey Chabert, who was the voice of Meg at first.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. Now she's the star of Hallmark. I watch a lot of Hallmark because of her. She's awesome.
I watched Mean Girls because of her. I watched Party of Five.
Oh, she in Party of Five?
Yeah, she was like the
was she the little
daughter.
kid?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I knew that.
Guys, I gotta get out of here. So, wishing everyone a good night.
Okay, well, let's end on Lacey and just say, remember to go on InStockTrades.com where you can get your collected editions from 30% all the way up to like 65% in the red tag sale. Remember your 2% loyalty discount. Not this month, but next month on the last Monday of every last Monday of every month, we give away a $50 gift card courtesy of InStockTrades.com worth $50 of sorry, I started looking at the Mean Girls dance sequence. $50 or more in an order in the United States gets you free shipping. Fabulous goes to service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com.
All right. Good night, everyone. I'm out.
Awesome. Good night.
Awesome. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Peace and love. Peace and love. We appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for watching.
Saturday, Patreon.
Woo! 5 o'clock.
8 EST.